2, 1, 2. I said microphone check. 1, 2. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me.
Oh, just kidding. So, anyways, this is Ace. Ace is Wild. I'm running solo tonight. Usually, I have Tarbill here to help me produce, but tonight I don't have a co-host. So, we're running live for the first time. A little nervous, but you know, we'll get it going. I was just in the middle of talking about how it's the night before the draft. And if you're a Bears fan, there really is no better day than tomorrow. 2 top 10 picks and a guy in Caleb Williams who is projected to be your first overall pick. And you're sitting there. You got guys like Patrick Mahomes being compared. And as a Bears fan, that's got to get you excited to think that even if this dude is half of what he's projected to be, that's still got to be better than any other quarterback that the Bears have had in their entire history. So, you know, this show tonight, it's just me. So we're gonna do a little fun activity. I'm gonna try to do a first round mock draft of the entire draft with you guys. I can't guarantee it's gonna go off without a hitch. Sometimes I get a little choppy with my internet. So if I gotta drop, I gotta drop. But so we got Brandon here. History, I think he means Caleb Williams as the first overall draft pick projection history. But yeah, he's projected to be, I mean, like I said, he's in conversations as the best draft prospect since Andrew Luck. He's being compared to guys like Patrick Mahomes. And if you're a Bears fan and you see Patrick Mahomes' potential on your team, you know, I don't know. I get pretty excited about that. But, you know, I got a little video to kind of get you hyped, courtesy of the Chicago Bears. And then we'll see if this mock draft will go off, hopefully without a hitch.
Such a cool thing to have 2 top 10 picks because you can get 2 franchise cornerstones.
Maybe the best ever spot for a number 1 overall pick.
That's what I'm saying.
The Bears' talent is different than any other number 1 overall pick's talent.
You better get on the Bears right now. The Bears are coming. Get ready.
I want to know if you want to be a Chicago Bear.
All right, so Caleb Williams obviously is going to be he's the consensus best player in the draft right now. And most of the time, most of the people have him projected to go to the Bears at number 1. Now, like I said, we're going to try to see if this works. I cannot guarantee it's going to. But, you know, we'll see what happens. So we're going to start the draft. I'm already on the clock. I got the Bears' first overall pick from Carolina last season. If you don't remember, the Bears had the first overall pick last year, and they traded that pick to Carolina for a couple of mid-round picks, and then you got this year's first, and you got DJ Moore. So we're going to start the draft, and obviously, you know, we got a bunch of different potential, some trades, Patriots, and, you know, there's a bunch of different trades, but, you know, we're not gonna get crazy. We're gonna simply just do draft Caleb Williams. You know, and now I'm gonna pause it and try to go through each of these picks. So Washington takes Drake May. Hold on, there's got to be a way for me to slow this down. There is. There we go. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so I slowed it down a little bit, and we are sitting at pick number 3. Drake May is projected to go to Washington. I was hearing that Jaden Daniels would get picked by Washington, and then Drake May would probably fall to pick number 3 if the Patriots were thinking about taking him. You know, you're sitting down here at number 9 if you're the Bears. I think the Bears are going to do something crazy. I think they're going to trade up in the draft to maybe number 4 or 5 and try to get their wide receiver, but I'm not doing any trades tonight. We're just going to go straight through. So we got the Cardinals. They pick Marvin Harrison Jr. No surprise there. They're keeping Kyler Murray. So you look at that and you're like, okay, Marvin Harrison Jr., a lot of people project him to be the best talent in this draft that's non-quarterback. So it makes sense that he would go there. The Chargers are an interesting spot because they definitely need weapons. They got rid of Keenan Allen, who Bears fans know came to Chicago via trade. And that's why the Bears only have 4 picks this year. They used one of those picks to get Keenan Allen to the team. So I'm interested to see what the Chargers decide to do. Oh, okay. So they went edge rush. Oh, that's interesting because so that kind of helps the Bears out in a scenario where there's 3 top wide receivers in this draft. And Dallas Turner going to the Chargers when I thought they were going to take a wide receiver because it's one of their top needs. So that's interesting. The Giants are another one. They could go quarterback, but if they're going to stick with Daniel Jones, it's going to be real interesting to see the route that they take. I would project that they're probably going to snag a wide receiver here or a tackle maybe on the offensive line. They went quarterback? Okay. All right. So this thing's already off the rails because I don't think that that's how it's going to go. I don't think that J.J. McCarthy goes to the Giants at number 6. But hey, that's why this is a mock draft, right? It's not the real draft. So now we're down to the Titans. Titans need weapons, plain and simple. They need a better offensive line. Defense definitely needs some improvement. So let's see who they decide to go with. Ooh, the tackle, Joe Alt. That's who a lot of people projected if he was at number 9, the Bears would try to take to shore up that offensive line with Caleb Williams. Now, Atlanta, that's going to be interesting because they might lose their first-round pick. I haven't read anything yet on if they were able to keep that pick or not. But we will see. They don't need offensive weapons. They have a great offense right now. And I agree. The Vikings, that's what I think the Vikings were going to try to move up to probably number 6 to get J.J. McCarthy. But I cannot see Atlanta right now taking anything other than defense or offensive line help. But all right, so hold on. Let's see. Who did they take? They took a wide receiver? No shot. No shot. But anyways, so this actually fell perfectly because I think the Bears are going to get lucky in this draft. And I think that they really will have the ability to take a guy that, if it was any other year than this year, is probably a number one projected wide receiver in this draft, in Rome Odunze. I'm going to pick him, drafted by the Chicago Bears. And then you got the Jets, who they take a tech. Yeah, I mean, the Jets need to shore up that offensive line. Aaron Rodgers last season got destroyed in 3 snaps, and that was it. So now the Vikings, they need a quarterback. They don't have anybody right now. Sam Darnold, I think, is their quarterback. They went Brock Bauer. Oh my God. All right. So I'm not sure I'm really buying this whole thing right now because there's no shot. I think that the Vikings take Brock Bauer over a quarterback. I think the Vikings do whatever they can do to move up to 4, 5, or 6 to try and get their quarterback. I think they want JJ McCarthy, and I think that's who they're going to move heaven and earth to get. The Broncos are interesting. They're going to need a quarterback also. So if I'm going to assume they're going to take. Oh my gosh! All right, well, another offensive lineman, which it's. I guess you got to protect your trash quarterback. You got Zach Wilson now, so he needs some help to stay upright. The Raiders, they also need quarterback help, and they took O-line. Cornerback, that's actually a really good pick for the Saints. I think the Saints defense is kind of taking a step back. I think it's going to be important to have them kind of revamp that defense. You have Derek Carr still, I think, unless they cut him. Let me check that real quick. Derek Carr. Hold on. Pretty sure he's still on the Saints. Yes. Okay. So he is still on the Saints right now. I think defense was the right way to go for them. The Colts, they need weapons or an edge rush. That works too. Cornerback, that's not bad for Seattle. They need to revamp that defense as well. Jacksonville, they need some help to keep Trevor Lawrence from just getting obliterated every play. Listen, that's why this is a mock draft, guys, because so this was with no trades, so obviously there's going to be no moving. For people, hello, son. That's my son. He's watching as well right now. So no trades. Everything just kind of falls into place at this point. I wish I would have put trades on because I think that the Bears, I could have moved up a little bit to get some players. I'd like to see. So the Vikings, they'd had 2 first-round picks this year. Maybe they go quarterback here. Okay, no, they don't go quarterback here. So what is that? 2? They got a tight end and an offensive lineman. So the Cowboys, I mean, they're going to do what the Cowboys do and probably mess this draft up, but we'll see. Offensive line. Packers, honestly, does it matter who they pick because they're going to be ass anyways. Jordan Love, who? Jordan Love, who is all I'm going to say. I think the Bears are. I don't think they're going to be looking at the Packers and being too worried after this season. Wide receiver, I know that there's some Packer fans that are going to be happy with adding a weapon. Tampa Bay, edge rush, not bad. Their defense is getting old. Arizona, they took a corner. Who'd they take first? Marvin Harrison Jr. Not bad. So you're taking 2 guys on opposite sides of the ball to help boost your offense and your defense. The Bills, they need everything. Wide receiver. No, they went cornerback. Okay. The Lions, who did they take? They took an edge. Chop Robinson. Baltimore can always use more weapons. grading my draft, it's going to be an A, duh, because it's the Bears. Well, yeah, duh. A plus, A plus. No, Marvin Harrison went fourth to Arizona. But yeah, so I mean, that's how I think that this plays out. I think that Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze both end up with the Chicago Bears. And I think if you're a Bears fan, right, and that's how this whole draft shakes out, and you're lucky enough to come away with guys like Rome Odunze, who is a big body wide receiver. He's a guy that all through this process of the draft and everything, there's always been like this connection between him and Caleb, and they've talked a lot, they've gotten along a lot. I think that's a situation where I think if Caleb and Rome Odunze can be on this team together, no shot what are we no shotting over here, Mike? We talking no shot that the Bears land both of those guys? Because I think there really is a realistic chance that they do. I think there's a realistic chance that the Bears could potentially move up and try to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think if Arizona's able to get out of that spot at 4 and just get a haul, I think they do. I think that the Patriots look at potentially moving out of the 3rd spot. I think the Bears have a lot of leverage in this draft because I think they have an extra 2nd round next year. They have the 9th pick. They don't have a lot of capital right now as it is, but if you can come away with the way that Ryan Poles kind of sounded in his press conference yesterday, I think it was that he's okay with the amount of draft picks that they have, which is weird because the first 2 years he was somebody who was majorly for trading back, getting as much assets as you can for your roster, putting yourself in the best position that you can to have as many bites at the apple as you can. And all right, Mike, aren't you a Patriots fan? I'm just curious. Or no. This is the different Mike. My bad. I got like 3 big mics that are all on YouTube talking to me. So, but yeah, I think that if the Bears come away with Odunze and Caleb Williams, this offense is already the best offense the Bears have probably ever had. Maybe I'm a little bold in saying that, but I mean, I think you add Caleb Williams to this offense and you're already one of the best offenses that you've ever had. You have DJ Moore, you got Keenan Allen, you got your tight end in Cole Kmet, you have, I'd say an average offensive line. Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think they go wide receiver. I think that they feel okay with the group of receivers that they have right now. I do think that it's a scenario where, like I said, I did this without any trades. I think if I did it again, I would probably utilize trades just because I like to trade. I'm a Madden guy, then Madden, that's my favorite time is the off season when you get to do all these trades and make everything kind of, moving all the pieces as you want. I love to play armchair GM, Let's see, what's this say? Would you rather the Bears get Williams or trade away to get a quarterback who's been playing in the league? So I think the number 1 overall pick is signed, sealed, delivered. It's Caleb Williams. If they go anything else, I really think that the city of Chicago is going to go insane. There might be riots. I definitely think it's Williams. I agree with Mike. Definitely Williams. He's just, like I said, the caliber of prospect that Caleb Williams is you're looking at a guy who is like, people are projecting him to be as good as Patrick Mahomes. This dude's talking about like, there's only one dude I'm going to be chasing my whole career, and he wore number 12, talking about Tom Brady and how he's going to try to go for 8 Super Bowls and he wants to play for the same team. for 20 years. And listen, as a Bears fan, that gets me a little hot, you know? The thought of having a guy behind center that teams look at and they're like, damn, we got to play that guy again. Kind of how Bears fans were whenever they had to play the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. It's like, damn, we got to play Aaron Rodgers again. Well, most likely it's a loss, and it always ended up being a loss most of the time. Let's see what this is. Bears are going to go with an edge rusher with their second pick to pair with Sweat. No need for another wide receiver. You need offensive line help. I agree with the offensive line help, but I do think that in today's NFL, so the Bears defense was actually, I believe, top 10 defense the second half of the year. And Montez Sweat, the addition of him. So the reason that the Bears went out and got Montez Sweat is because Ryan Poles thought that there was going to be very limited edge rushing in this draft. So he wanted to utilize picks to get somebody like Montez Sweat so that they didn't have to worry about that in the draft. And I believe it depends. If the wide receiver isn't there, then yeah, I definitely think that they go defensive line or offensive line. But I think it depends who the offensive lineman is at that spot. I think that they would like Joe Alt to be there, but I don't think he's going to be. I think, Jared Verse is a guy who's projected to fall a little bit. And if he's at 9 and all the wide receivers are off the board, I could definitely see the Bears taking it. But I'm also not opposed to, if the wide receivers are off the board and there's a couple options at edge rush, a couple options at offensive lineman, even looking and taking that number 9 pick and moving back, getting some extra capital at that point. I think if you're the Bears and you can't get Rome or Neighbors, you trade back. Yeah, see, like I was saying, I think if you can't get the wide receiver that you want, because I really wholeheartedly think that's what they want to do. I think they want to give Caleb and this wide receiver both on 5-year rookie deals, have them grow together, have them learn, grow as a team. And because even with Keenan Allen on the team, what's he going to play max? 2 seasons? I can't see him playing any more than that. And the dude never stays healthy. So, yeah, he might still put up 1,000 yards, but he's probably only going to play 12 games, maybe 14 games if we're lucky. It's definitely a scenario where I feel like over the last few drafts, the Bears have addressed defense quite a bit. So I think that this draft is going to be a lot more offensive focused. And if you look at the moves that they made during the offseason, they were a lot of smart plays in terms of, guys that they traded for with draft picks that they had in this draft. They picked up a center, who is a position that they needed. They got Keenan Allen with one of their draft picks. So, if you go back and you're like, oh, well, they only have 4 picks, they ruined this draft. No, they use those picks on proven guys, right? So you might not have a stud center, but you're going to have an experienced center who can play the position. What would you think about Bowers? I know they have Komet. So with Brock Bowers, it's interesting because I don't think he has the body to be a long-term tight end in the league. I think he's a little smaller, but he is projected to be a top talent for a receiver. I think if you're the Bears and you can, I don't know. I don't think they go that route even if he's there, I don't think they take him. I think they go wide receiver. I think they trade back. I know that this was, draft heavy, drafts tomorrow, right? But there was some other Bears news today. Kevin Warren came out and there was a new rendering of a brand new stadium on the lakefront, Chicago, downtown. I know Arlington Heights had been the talk for a while, but it sounds like maybe the Bears stay in Chicago. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I do think that, listen, anybody who's been to Soldier Field knows that it is a pain in the ass to get in and out of that place. Parking is terrible. So to stay in Chicago, they got to figure something out. A better way to get in, a better way to get out, better parking, better amenities around the stadium. There really is nothing. You have all the museums, but that's not really. And it's a dump. I was just there this past season. I went to see Bears and Raiders. And again, getting there was a pain in the ass. Parking was a pain in the ass. Everything in the stadium is old, and it's a pain in the ass. Leaving's a pain in the ass. Traffic, obviously, Chicago traffic is always a pain in the ass, but leaving that stadium, it's even worse. I think that I was kind of excited for them to move to Arlington Heights just to get out of that city. You could build this whole big district around there, casinos and restaurants and hotels and all this stuff. And like, I don't think you can do that if you stay on the lakefront. I think it's going to be too difficult to put all that stuff in that little area. I know Kevin Warren is a big fan of Chicago. He said that in a press conference earlier in the offseason where he was like, we love the backdrop of downtown during a Sunday night game or a Monday night game or any big time game. And I get it. And the renderings were nice. Don't get me wrong. It was really nice. There was a dome stadium, park areas around the stadium, and they kept the columns. So like, it was nice, but I just don't think it's feasible to make it, because the whole point of going to a game is to enjoy yourself, right? So if you're stuck in traffic for an hour and a half trying to get into the stadium, whether it's new or not, you're already putting yourself in a bad mood for the rest of the game. But we'll see. There's a lot of speculation if it's just a ploy to get Arlington Heights to change up a few of the rules that they were implementing, tax breaks and that kind of stuff, all the political jargon and shit that I really don't pay attention to. Being in Wisconsin, I really don't have a reason to pay attention to Illinois politics. But I got another comment. Arlington Heights is the best idea, but staying on the lakefront is like, yeah, I mean, there is no better shot. Sunday night football, Bears, Packers, downtown Chicago. All the buildings lit up. The Lake Michigan's right there. It's a beautiful backdrop for a stadium. I just don't know if it's, like I said, feasible to make getting in and out of the traffic easy, or in and out of the stadium easier. But only time will tell. There's so many other things going on in Chicago sports, but with the draft being tomorrow, I definitely wanted to jump on here, get you guys a little taste of a mock draft. We have our live draft show tomorrow, and we got all the guys back. We got Tarbill, we got Turtle. We're going to talk, NFL draft until the end of the first round. So it's going to be a long, grueling stretch. And, we might have a couple guests along the way. We talked with a couple of other podcasters, and we might have some people jump on with us. But overall, I'm excited, man. If you're a Bears fan right now, I know losing Justin Fields was hard for a lot of people. But I don't know if it was necessarily hard because of how Fields was playing. I think it was more because of the person that Fields was. Like I always said, dance with the devil you know versus the devil you don't, right? So we knew what Justin Fields was. We didn't know what Caleb Williams was. The NFL told you what Justin Fields was. They did. Nobody wanted him. They got a 5th-round pick next year from the Steelers for him to be a backup quarterback. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option, or the rumors are that they're not picking up his 5th year. So, I mean, you're sitting in a situation where Turtle said it, I think, on a couple of shows a couple months ago, where like when you watch the Super Bowl and you watch what Patrick Mahomes did with the Kansas City Chiefs team that he had, limited weapons and all that stuff, and you watched him just gut out a win. And then you look at Justin Fields, and I don't think we know Justin can't hit that level, right? He just can't. We've watched him enough to know fourth quarter struggles, they're real. Whether people want to admit it or not, the dude struggled. Thoughts about the Netflix deal. I think it's going to be interesting to see the product of the WWE once Netflix is in charge of it. Yeah, that's right. So I think, like I said, the Steelers even told you what they think of Justin Fields by not wanting to pick up his fifth-year option. So I think that you're looking at a situation where you bring in Caleb Williams, and like I said, even if dude is half as good as what he's projected to be, he's already the best quarterback that the Bears have ever had. And yeah, I think it'll be, I'm telling you, tomorrow night, it's going to be a fun show. The draft show, every year we do one. I've been doing a draft show for about 5 years now, and I'm trying to think my first draft show. I don't remember which year that first one was, but I remember when the Bears drafted Justin Fields. That might have been my first one, actually. And I was with somebody else, but they weren't too happy with they wanted an offensive line, which I get it. But, you got Justin Fields, and now you don't. But now, because of the way Justin played and because of how bad the Bears were last year, they were gifted the opportunity to have the number 1 overall pick this year. And when you're handed a gift like that, you just have to take it. Don't overthink it. Don't outthink yourself. Just take the best prospect, Caleb Williams. And I think tomorrow will be fun. Make sure you guys tune in. Same place. We're probably going to go live a little bit before the draft, but I'm excited. I know it's kind of like Christmas Eve for me. The Bears have a lot of opportunities to make a lot of noise this season. I wore black because it's going to be the NFL's funeral once the Bears are done with this draft. Maybe I'm hyped up a little bit too much Kool-Aid for me tonight, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know it's a shorter show tonight, only 30 minutes. Hey, first solo show. Yeah, we had a hiccup at the beginning. I forgot to unmute my mic. Rookie mistake. I'm not a rookie, and I made that mistake. But overall, I enjoyed the comments, guys. It was a fun show. Quick little mock draft. Be sure to follow us. YouTube, Facebook. You can follow me. What's this? Follow us, YouTube, Facebook. And then you follow me on X. You can't see my tag, but it's Aces Wild CST. So go follow me there. All down here in the little right-hand side right here. It's all my stuff that you need to find us. And we will see you guys tomorrow.